Coming up on 5 minutes until airtime. Mark, 5 minutes until airtime on the UCLA Sports Network from Learfield IMG College for our basketball game broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 4 minutes until airtime. Coming up on 4 minutes until airtime. Mark, 4 minutes until airtime on the UCLA Sports Network.
Why did I choose to go to UCLA?
First and foremost, when you say you've got a degree from UCLA, it carries some weight.
I learned a standard of excellence.
I knew that it would be the biggest challenge of my life.
You know, it's something special, and it's known worldwide.
In the same place where you can be with people that could be leading the world, you're also with people that could be professional athletes and Olympians. And so for me, it was really, truly getting the best of both worlds.
Just the opportunity to be able to walk around and say you're a Bruin, I think it goes a long way in this world.
When I look back and I see the impact that it had on me, and now going forward, the relationships that I've been so fortunate to cultivate and to have and establish because of my ties to UCLA are endless, and I'm forever grateful.
You got an alumni base that will take care of you and help you out for the rest of your life. It's connected throughout the world.
The opportunity to come to UCLA is so special.
All the people I've met the most amazing people that really are in my corner.
I've never regretted at any point attending UCLA.
The Pac-12 Conference and its member universities are excited to be back playing the sports we all love.
But in order to get back to competition, the Pac-12 universities and student athletes are taking many steps and following important guidelines.
So now it's our turn to do the same. Please follow your state and local health official guidelines as you enjoy Pac-12 competition wherever you are.
That includes wearing a mask, maintaining physical distance, avoiding close contact with those not living in your household, and washing your hands often with soap and water.
Thanks fans, for doing your part to cheer responsibly.
I coined my own definition of success, which is peace of mind in knowing you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable.
The Bruins won 88 games and did what no team had done before. At center, the player of the year, if not all time, Louis Alcindor.
Had begun to crumble under the relentless attack of the Bruins and Bill Walton. Keith Wilkes. Coach John Wooden says he's so smooth.
Here's those quick hands. Man, it's been fake. He's taking his knee.
Oh, what a shot! I don't know, you know, what this guy can't do.
Win their fourth and its fifth consecutive national.
C2A banner, number 11.
Second on the shot clock. Let's put it up. And UCLA has upset.
And a steal! From and they go in front!
Anticipates well. Whoa! Takes it home. Here's
Hey Logan, we're so proud you play for UCLA, the team you dream of playing since you were a little boy playing rec in Oceanside.
Just keep setting your goals high and keep working hard to achieve them like you always have. It's great to see you on such a great team with outstanding coaching, and you guys are playing fantastic. Keep it up.
Go Bruins! Bonne chance!
Greetings from the Juzang family.
Hey Johnny, we're so excited about you and your teammates for a great season at UCLA. We're so happy that you're close to home and that you're healthy. And so we're going to be the biggest fans for you guys remote. Know that we're cheering the whole team on. Excited about you guys having a great season and happy to be a part of it. We're proud of you. Love you.
Let's go Bruins!
Cody, we're proud of you, what you accomplished with UCLA. Keep doing what you do. The sky's the limit. Unfortunately, we can't be there physically, but spiritually, we're always with you. And we're so proud of you. Go Bruins!
Go Cody!
If you're open, shoot it.
Yeah, stay out of foul trouble.
Stay out of foul trouble, shoot the jumpers.
Very important game for both of them tonight from Pauley Pavilion. The 14-5 Bruins against the 14-7 Arizona Wildcats. Josh Lewin with Bruins legend Tracy Murray. Great to be back home and awash in the knowledge that UCLA has won 16 straight at home. A chance these next two nights to run that streak to 18, but it's going to be a challenge. The Bruins have lost 3 of 5. They've fallen clear out of the national rankings. Arizona coming on a bit and bent on revenge. UCLA beat the Wildcats in Tucson, Tracy, just about 5 weeks ago.
Right, and then the Bruins were, full steam. You had everybody. They were playing at the highest level. Kenny Nuba came in and contributed big time that game. Everything was roses at that time.
Arizona still a big team. UCLA these days is not. Jalen Hill's continued absence continues to force a reshaping of the Bruins at both ends of the court. Cody Riley's been inconsistent. Mac Etienne isn't even officially a freshman yet. He's technically still a high school senior. So it's not exactly Alcindor and Walton in the post here, and lately it's been sink or swim with that collection of wings. Bernard and Jaquez have been mostly in a spin. The other wing player has been soaring. The transfer from Kentucky, Johnny Juzang, has been a revelation. A 57-point road trip earned him Pac-12 Player of the Week. 25 points in Pullman. He then had 32 in Seattle. He actually had an 18-point half followed by a 21-point half. Or in other words, he had 39 points in about 35 minutes for his stretch. And you might have to go back to Don McClain or at the very least Jason Capono to find a run like that, Tracy, from a UCLA player.
Well, it's a great individual effort, but he went 500 in that little stretch of 2 games. You would like to see him get the win both games, but a heck of an effort offensively. He needs some guys to come with him. He can't be doing it by himself. He needs some other guys to raise their level.
Juzang is still just 19 years old, by the way, and whether it's Mick Cronin or Juzang's personal coach and trainer, Jamal Lavelle, the marching orders he's getting are simple in order to keep improving. Got to take better shots, got to trust your teammates, communicate out there and be a leader. Some of those things you can totally see happening before our eyes. Others are still a work in progress. But bottom line, these last few games, if not for Johnny Juzang, UCLA would have been run right out of the gym.
Absolutely, and it's not just from a scoring point of view. I mean, he's playing better defense. He's rebounding the basketball. And he's also making plays for others because his assists, his rebounds are up as well as his scoring.
Saw Tiger Campbell here. He's still top 20 in the nation and tops in the Pac-12 in assists per game. He's had a few good stretches of late, but mostly it's been a bit of a struggle for the redshirt sophomore lately. Against Arizona a month ago, he was at his absolute best, his birthday game. He was aggressive in his drives in the paint, got to the free throw line 8 times, made all of them. He scored 22. Bruins won that game 81-76.
Well, as I always say, the Bruins go as Tiger Campbell goes. When he's scoring, then his assists are up as well. When he's struggling, the Bruins struggle, his assists are down, and you don't know if the Bruins are going to win or lose. So I hate to keep putting the pressure on Tiger Campbell, but as he goes, the Bruins go.
Couple things that have carried the Bruins in general to this record of 10-3 in conference, which is second place. They're second behind Colorado in fewest turnovers per game. They've committed fewer fouls than the opposition in 17 of 19 games. You love that. If the Bruins defend intelligently, they usually win. You look at the Arizona game in Tucson last month. They won that game because they got to the free throw line 32 times, making 27. And I bring that point up, Trace, because against Washington last weekend, they somehow made 6 of 18 from the line. You take away Juzang, they were 3 of 14. Now, Shaq was a career 53% free throw shooter, and everyone belly laughed at that. UCLA went out last time, made Shaq look like John Stockton.
Right. I mean, you have to credit Juzang for stepping his level up and carrying them that day, but there's no way you can shoot that bad from the free throw line and win on a consistent basis. The Bruins are going to have to start concentrating at the line. Their defense is going to have to pick up, play good defense without fouling, because they don't have 2 20-point scorers or a 20-point scorer and about 3 or 4 double-figure guys. Everybody's stats are going down, and in essence, it needs to be going up.
Yeah, it's been a bizarre scoring distribution for UCLA. That Washington game obviously was such an outlier because the Bruins have been all about balance this year. Usually you're looking at, well, in that game, it was 6 points or less for pretty much everybody. 14 for Bernard, 32 for Juzang. He had half the Bruins' point total, including 21 of 26 in the game's first half. So anyway, as it stands, the Bruins with that 16-game home court win streak, but to nudge that further down the road and stay within striking distance of first, they will need this one tonight against an always tough Arizona team that we will scout when we come back. This is Bruins basketball from Learfield IMG College.
At Westcom Credit Union. Really social distancing. Time for another random act of helpfulness. If a helpful Honda guy gave you $100 right now, what would you do with it?
Buy my girlfriend some flowers.
Pull out your phone. I want to send it to your phone right now.
No way. That's so cool.
Today we helped from a safe distance.
I'm going to give you $100 right now.
And we can help you too with a great deal on a reliable, award-winning Honda. For the first time ever, you can get 0% APR financing on Honda's award-winning lineup of 2021 SUVs.
Hey Bruin fans, we're so sad you can't be here with us in person, but keep that energy up from home. Go Bruins!
Jump pass out to Hawkins to Campbell, rotates it right side. Juzang driving past the right elbow and firing around and in. Bruins ahead 21-18.
He gets to his spot on 2 dribble pull-ups. You can't teach that any better.
Entry pass, Campbell to Riley. He'll burrow inside, working on Silva, spinning underneath, lays it up and in. Beautiful play.
Yeah, nice footwork by Riley.
Just underway in the second half. Bruins by 3. Here's Singleton, a corner 3. He splashes it in right in front of his own bench. Needed that. As Alatiche in the air goes under him to Riley. Chucks a pass to Singleton. Open. 3-ball. Good. And the Bruins do have that 7-point lead. And it's Kyman. Back out to Riley. He'll dribble to the foul line, rev the engine, go up and under, and score off the glass. Cody Riley gives it to Kyman. Pull-up jumper is rattling home for Jake Kyman. His first 2 points of the game. Riley with a bounce pass out to Singleton to Kyman. 27-footer coming good with a swish for Jake Kyman. An NBA range and beyond 3-point shot. Buying some time, loops it into Riley. Fadeaway jump shot, rainbows in, and the Bruins are up 11.
How about Johnny Juzang, though? Getting the steal, coming up, making the play with the drag pick and roll right there for Cody Riley to hit that fadeaway.
Ethan Thompson, a midcourt shot, no good at the horn, so your final is 57-52.
Let's keep that Bruin spirit going with an 8 clap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, U. C. L. UCLA, fight. Do. Go Bruins!
What used to be the RPI, Arizona number 47 in the nation, UCLA number 48. So both on the fringe of inclusion in March Madness, on the correct side of the ledger. One big difference, though, Arizona ineligible to go to March Madness or even to the Pac-12 tournament in Vegas. Self-imposed sanctions for some recruiting shenanigans, and what that means is the Wildcats are playing a win right now. They can't register better wins the rest of the way than tonight against UCLA and Saturday against USC. Arizona, Tracy, leads the Pac-12 in scoring, and Mick Cronin loves their point guard James Akinjo, who he says is having a better year than Nico Mannion had for them last year. They may be only 8-7 in conference, but there's still a lot to like about this Wildcat team.
Yeah, I can agree about Akinjo. I mean, last time he faced the Bruins, it was 25 points, 2 rebounds, and 8 assists. So he can be a problem, especially once he gets going. And then you have to throw in a couple of guys like Azulis Tubulis. I mean, this kid he's an inside, Tubelis, I'm sorry. He's an inside-outside threat. He can knock down threes. He can post up. Even though he's only at 11.7 points a game, I mean, his percentages is 51% from the field, 40 from three, and 70 from the free throw line, which his free throws can be up a little bit more, but he's a guy that you have to worry about.
Arizona is a bit short-handed like the Bruins. Their exciting guard Jamal Baker is injured and out for the year. Ira Lee will play tonight, but he's a little bit compromised. The LA native has a bad ankle. Then again, so does Cody Riley for the Bruins. You mentioned Tubelis, who went for 15 and 8 against the Bruins back in Tucson. He scored as many as 31 in a game. And Akinjo, 25 against the Bruins with 8 assists to just 1 turnover. So you look at that, you look at the Mick Cronin-Sean Miller rivalry, which goes back to Cincinnati and Xavier. So there's a lot of fun things to kind of poke your nose out and take a look at here tonight.
Yeah, and you also look at the guard matchup between Tiger Campbell and James Akinjo. I mean, and that's a key because as Tiger Campbell goes, the Bruins go. And if Akinjo is giving him problems, then Tiger Campbell's not going to go.
Yeah, the Bruins didn't move the ball around very well against these guys last month. Only 6 assists all game for the whole team. But they still somehow scored 81 points. They made it 4 straight wins at McHale Center. That's something we should probably stop and appreciate, Trace. That team in its last 130 odd home games is 0-4 against UCLA. They're 117 and 12 against everybody else. But still, defensively, these guys can make you earn your keep. They lead the Pac-12 in scoring. We should note they've added a three-point shooter since last we saw them, a kid named after Steve Kerr, shooting threes. Imagine that. Kerr Kriisa is his name, so they've added a distance threat. But even before that, they were the only team in the country to have 3 players that have scored 31 or more in a game this season. Mathurin, Baker, Tubelis have all done it. Lots of weapons for them.
And they're also known to be big all the time. You know, they always have some 6'11", 7-foot guys, and that's rim protection. You know, when you're able to get blown by and have rim protection, it makes your defense that much better. And then to say that they can score too, right, that's double trouble.
If Arizona's getting to the free throw line, that's not a big surprise. Most free throw attempts in the nation. Most free throws made in the nation. And if Arizona's rebounding well, that's a problem. In their conference wins, their rebound margins of +11. In their 7 losses, it's not even +1. So the lesson there is you stay with them on the boards, you keep them off the line, you probably win.
Well, you got to block out, and that's what the Bruins are not very good at, is blocking out. They showed that they can block out a little bit against USC the first half, but then the second half they let up a little bit. So hopefully that they concentrate on that this week. They block these big fellas out, limit them to only 1 shot.
UCLA 60-45 all time against Arizona. They've won 5 of the last 6 and 4 in a row. They're the only Pac-12 team with a winning record against Arizona, and they'll need to find a way to draw from that tonight. When we come back, yes, our conversation with head coach Mick Cronin, of course, David Kahn in studio for some out-of-town scores as well. This is Bruins basketball from Learfield IMG College. is right now the Bruins renewing their rivalry with Arizona. And, Coach, first things first, I know you talked to the media about it a little bit this week, and I wanted to give you a forum here as well. All the challenges this year is presented, just COVID protocol in general. You guys have navigated it, knock wood, so beautifully. But can you just speak to that challenge a little bit for us? I mean, nothing is as it's supposed to be this year, and you guys are still out there playing hard, and you're still smiling.
Yeah, I would say the longer it goes, the harder it's been on the players, without question. You know, we're almost at 5 months now. Come back in September. We're almost to March. Where you're asking these guys to basically have no life other than their to quarantine and come to practice and get online and do their schoolwork. My concern coming down the stretch is if the Pac-12 tries to jam a bunch of makeup games in on all these kids in our league, I think we need to remember that these kids go to school, and school's not the same. You got no in-person instruction, you got no in-person tutoring, you got no in-person learning specialist, even peer-to-peer learning. So it's really hard on these guys right now from an academic standpoint, and they're worn down mentally. So, I'm cognizant of that. And, like I keep telling you, we've shortened practice, got to try to, get a lot of shooting in after and stuff. And, just try to keep the guys where they're not, ready to bounce off the walls, Josh. Because, you can see it happening. And, I think around the entire country, you can see it happen. Obviously, I have a lot of friends in coaching.
Sure. Now, on the court, lately anyway, it's kind of become the Johnny Juzang show. I know that's not exactly how you want it. All year long, it's been about a balanced scoring attack and everybody doing their part. So as a coaching staff, how do you adjust those dials a little bit to get the balance back? Or do you just say, well, it's Johnny Juzang's time and let him go?
Yeah, again, Josh, we don't talk like the media, man. We just worry about winning games, the reason I'm the coach is I know that the defense dictates who's going to shoot the ball. And we've had a few press conferences since the Washington game. They played a matchup zone and they lost him all night. I don't think Arizona, in fact, I know Arizona's not going to do that. The last thing they're going to do is play a matchup zone, and then by far, there's 0% chance that they're going to lose Johnny Juzang all night. So, the opponents, matchups, the way the other team is playing defensively, dictates a lot of what goes on out there. So that and Cody Riley's been injured. So, we've lost his production. And I think that's the biggest key is getting him back to healthy. I know that's the biggest key for us. We've got to get him back to being healthy so he can produce for us.
And especially against a team like Arizona, which obviously hits the boards so well. And they're obviously a team that has length and they can score from a bunch of different parts of the court, I guess, too. I mean, it's kind of like whack-a-mole with these guys. If you contain a Kinjo, you're leaving somebody else open. So what adjustments do you make trying to figure out Arizona here tonight?
Well, Kinjo's the key of their team. When he struggled, they struggled on offense. So, he's the one guy that can go get his own basket on their team. Their other guys can maybe score inside, but, that requires a pass. Their shooters, that requires a Kinjo to break down your defense, and therefore you leave their shooters. 70% of what they do is Kinjo. So we've got to do a great job on him. We've got to know where their shooters are, and then obviously the backboard is going to be huge in this game. So we've got to do everything we can to not get broken down defensively. That way we have a blockout assignment. When you see the defensive backboard becoming a problem, it's because your defense is a problem. Great defense, the backboard's not a problem because everybody has a blockout assignment. That's something, where the stats can get skewed. I mean, if you don't play good defense and teams are scoring, right, there's not enough defensive rebounds to get, you're going to get out rebounded. So it goes hand in hand, your defense and your rebounding.
And playing defense without fouling, something you guys have done for the most part so beautifully all year. I would think that's the key with Arizona, too. They get to the line more than anybody else in the nation.
Yes, absolutely. We probably were too aggressive trying to fight around their post-ups last time. we've worked on it, had some time to talk about it, show it, and try to get them off their sweet spot, but then not foul, trying to get around and knock the ball out. You know, if they get it, we got to guard them after they get it. We can double team them after they get it. You know, and obviously we've talked a lot to Cody about, you know, without Jalen Hill, how important it is for him to not reach in and be really judicious with his fouls.
Sounds like a plan. Go get him, man. We'll talk to you after the game, hopefully after a W. Thank you, Coach.
Sounds good, Josh.
Pauley Pavilion. UCLA can hang a banner in Westwood. Are you serious? Does that bring this crowd to its feet? Up with the jam, two hands and down. Riley, a force down low. Single